I was strong for everyone, until I finally admitted I was tired. For the longest time, people described me with the same words. Strong, totally, independent, reliable, kind of girl who always had it together. And I learned to live up to that image so well that I forgot how to ask for help, even when I desperately needed it. This is not a love story about betrayal, or cheating, or someone leaving. This is a love story about a woman who forgot to love herself because she was too busy holding everyone else together. I met him during one of the hardest years of my life. My parents were going through financial problems. My job felt unstable, and emotionally, I was exhausted. But no one knew, because I smiled. I joked. I told everyone I was fine. He was a friend of a friend, someone I met at a small gathering. He wasn't loud or charming in an obvious way. He didn't try to impress me. He just sat next to me and asked, "Are you actually okay?" That question caught me off guard, because people usually asked that out of politeness. He asked like he was willing to hear the truth. I laughed it off and said yes. He didn't argue, but he didn't believe me either. After that night, we started talking more. Not every day, not constantly, just enough to feel natural. He never rushed conversations, never forced closeness. He remembered details about me that I didn't even remember sharing. What time I usually felt overwhelmed, which days were hardest for me, how I tended to disappear when I was stressed. And one day, when everything finally became too heavy, I broke down in front of him. Not dramatically, just quietly. I told him I was tired of being strong, tired of being the dependable one, tired of feeling like if I fell apart, everything around me would collapse. He didn't tell me to stay positive, didn't try to fix me. He just said, "You're allowed to rest." No one had ever said that to me before. I didn't fall in love with him instantly. I didn't even think about romance at first. I just felt safe. And safety is dangerous when you've lived your whole life in survival mode. Slowly, he became part of my routine. Coffee after work, long walks where silence wasn't awkward, messages that didn't demand immediate replies. He never made me feel guilty for needing space, never made me feel dramatic for having emotions. And without realizing it, I started leaning on him. That scared me, because I had always been the one people leaned on. So when I started feeling attached, I pulled away. I became distant. I joked instead of opening up. I acted like I didn't care as much as I did. He noticed. One evening, while we were sitting in his car, rain falling softly outside, he said, "You don't have to disappear when things get real." That sentence felt like someone looking directly into my soul. I wanted to tell him everything. How scared I was of needing someone. How afraid I was of becoming a burden. How tired I was of always being okay. But instead, I smiled and said, "I'm just busy." He didn't push. He never pushed. And that made me respect him even more. Over time, my feelings grew quietly. Not the kind of love that makes your heart race. The kind that makes your breathing slow. I started imagining a future with him. Simple things. Waking up without anxiety. Talking without pretending. Resting without guilt. But before I could fully step into that feeling, life tested me again. My father got sick. Everything shifted overnight. Hospital visits, medical bills, sleepless nights, and I went back into survival mode. I stopped replying to messages, stopped meeting him, stopped explaining. He reached out gently. "Do you want to talk? I'm here if you need me." No pressure. I read his messages and cried, because I wanted to lean on him, but I didn't know how. One night, after a particularly long day at the hospital, I finally called him. I didn't even say hello. I just cried, and he stayed on the line the entire time. Didn't interrupt, didn't rush me, just stayed. That was the moment I realized something important. Love doesn't always arrive as excitement. Sometimes it arrives as relief, as someone not leaving, when you finally stop pretending to be strong. After my father recovered, life slowly calmed down, and for the first time, I had space to think. I thought about how he never made my life harder, how he never demanded more than I could give, how he never treated my vulnerability like weakness. So, I told him the truth, all of it, that I liked him, that I was scared, that I didn't know how to be loved gently. He listened, then he smiled and said, "We can go slowly. I'm not in a hurry." And that was it. No pressure, no grand promises, just two people choosing to walk at the same pace. Today we are together. Not perfect, not dramatic, but real. And I'm learning something new every day. That being strong doesn't mean being alone. That love doesn't always take energy. Sometimes it gives it back. That rest is not laziness. And vulnerability is not failure. This is not a story about finding someone who saved me. It's a story about finding someone who allowed me to finally put my armor down. And if you are listening to this, and you are tired of being the strong one, please know this. You deserve to be held too. I am Lucy, and this is Unsaid Love.